SmallTALK.
Hey y'all, what's up? We're here with another episode of Small Talk. You already know, two queens, two perspectives, one topic. Sis, what are we getting into today?
So today we are going to talk about this generational work ethic. Okay. So the differences between the millennials, our work ethic, and like the Gen Zers, folks that were older than us or are older than us, just looking at the difference in like our work ethic, looking at like job versus career stuff, who's taking their PTO, all the things.
So it's safe to say that this new generation of folks don't care about their job.
Yep, I think so.
They clock in, clock out whenever they want. Mm-hmm. They have no sense of time. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's kind of tossed over into our generation a little bit because we're conforming to what they got going on.
Yeah.
But all I know is back in the day when we decided to go out and party and have a good time in college or whatever, we had a responsibility, a duty to make it to work the next day.
Yes.
Regardless of how lit the night was before, you had to clock in. You weren't calling out sick.
No.
Not like that anyway. And if you were, like, you had to produce a doctor's note. Something. Now it's just like, I guess I got a quarantine. I've been exposed. Like, but even prior to COVID, I feel like they was just out here like not caring.
Yeah.
Just not caring.
No, I definitely agree with you like on that. And even thinking about to that point, right, just around like for us as millennials, I think it was really awesome, like, yo, I'll be at work, whether it's hungover, I'll be at work with a headache, I'll be at work sleepy, but let me just go make this bread, and then I'll be able to sleep when I get home. Like, I feel like that was the thing. I feel like even for us as millennials, a lot of us are either like, we've already been through, if we wanted to get higher education, we've been through that, or we're going through that right now. We're in our careers, right? And just that whole thing. So we're invested where we are, right? But I do think as millennials, we're like invested in our careers, right? And all these things, but we're still like, yeah, if I need a mental health day, like, I'm not afraid to use my PTO.
Okay.
But like, I know, like, for instance, like my dad, he rarely would call out from work. You know what I mean? Like, even when he really needed to, and he was always there, and he's been at his job, which he hates, for 25, 26 years, something like that. And for me, I'm like, 26 years, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
You know, like, that's a long time to be at somewhere that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between like the generations. I just feel like the generation before us is like, all right, I just have these responsibilities, because folks were getting married younger, they were having kids younger, generally speaking, and they were out of the house quicker. For millennials, it's not many of us, and there are some, right? But once we hit 18, some of us were still coming back home, like after college and stuff like that, you know, because going to college was a bigger push, I think, for the millennial generation. So we're like, all right, well, we still got responsibilities, but I'm still going to be aware of my mental health, all those things. But I feel like these Gen Zers,
just out here.
They just be out here.
They just out here. Like, I never PTO. They don't have PTO, because as soon as they get them little 8 hours on the next check, it's already spent. They already done booked the flight before they got the PTO.
Oh, yeah.
And if they didn't get their PTO approved, they're calling in a sick day.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're going on vacation. And I can listen. I'm here for it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
But I feel like our priorities back then, it was like, we have to go to work. Right now, I just feel like it's so laxy-daisy in the job, in the work field.
Yeah.
It truly is. That people are out here, and there was a time, maybe like last year, I want to say, where people just completely stopped, because not only were you collecting unemployment, but Biden out here giving free stimulus checks.
Right.
I'm making more money sitting at home doing nothing.
It's true.
Than actually physically going to work, putting myself at harm, having to wear a mask, having to worry about like who's vaccinated, who's not, what I got to do, why, when I'm getting free money from the government or whatever it is. So I really feel like today's circumstances obviously put a damper on things, but even prior to COVID in 2018, 2019, all these 18-year-olds through whatever, however, 20, 21, when you first get your job, or 16, you first get a job at 16.
Yeah.
16. I just feel like them now, they got a job because they wanted to get a job.
Yes.
Not because they felt like they needed to, or they wanted to have their own money in their own pocket. Like, it's more so like, I just want to work because I just need something to do.
Right. And just as easy, it's like, I don't want to work anymore. So it doesn't, it's stressful. And that's one thing that's crazy to me, right? Because I feel this idea of stress. And that's the idea, like, I had to believe, I was actually having this conversation with my supervisor, and he was like, a lot of people, especially in the younger generations, and he's the generation above us, but he was saying, like, they think that you're going to like your job every day. Or they think that, like, when you work hard, it shouldn't be stressful. And as soon as something becomes stressful, because people don't know how to handle stress, they just stop. They literally just kind of stop. And it's because mom or dad might take care of them, or they can just go on and become an influencer. And that's, like, no shade at, like, an influencer, right? But it's, I know, like, people that are Gen Zers specifically, that they say, well, why would I go to school to do this when I could just post a video of me and my friends and then be able to make more money than you'll make in a year?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so for me, even thinking about that, I'm like, work is going to be stressful. It's going to be, like, you're not going to have good days. You're not going to like all your coworkers. And I think that sometimes when we say, like, we need mental health days, which I think are super important, I'm a big advocate for them, it's not always because I just don't like going into my job, or because, it's stressful. I think we should have the expectation that it's going to be that. But I don't know. And this could be me just being a millennial, but, like, I think we're popping as far as, like, we have a balance. I really think that. I don't think that we are the entitled generation. And I'm learning that more and more, because people keep saying, like, millennials, y'all are entitled. And I'm like, bro, we're in our careers. Y'all not talking about us no more.
Yeah. It's so hard to gauge things. It's funny. I was sitting down with my daughter the other day, and she's like, when are you going to start my YouTube? I said, for what? She was like, oh, because I want to have my own YouTube page, and follow down below. Like, she has the commentary all together. And when you think about it, I'm like, if that's what she wants to do, she can do it. There are people that are 5 years old, 6 years old, little humans making money. Their families are set off of YouTube videos. Like, that wasn't a thing for us when we were coming up. This influencer thing, or this YouTuber, social media guru, whatever it is that you're like, even when we talk about couples, that's a thing. Like, the power couple, the power Black couple. I gotta make it on the Black love page, or whatever it is. People start looking up to you. What are y'all gonna do next? What trip are they taking? Any relationship advice? What's this and this? And people are actually making a living off of these things. And I feel like that we didn't have that option. I mean, it also ties into social media being popping right now. Yes. We're at a phase in our life where technology is just taking over completely. Yeah. We need it. We can't do anything without it. So it kind of opens up the world for us to kind of be influencers. But it's just, even with this podcast, I'm just like, I got to do how many reels to get on what? What's it called? What's the thing that Instagram uses to algorithm? Oh yeah. Like, right. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make a reel. I don't want to, but I have to in order to keep up, in order to whatever, whether for your personal page, business page. That's a Gen Z thing. Like, we were not doing that. Yeah. We were not freaking tweeting and twitting and Facebook. Like, I just feel like I genuinely looked at my Facebook the other day. I created my Facebook when it was only for college students. Yeah. And I have, like, my FIU email is connected to my Facebook, and I couldn't tell you what my login is for FIU email. Yeah, I don't know. But it's that's just how long ago, things, how they were and what the platform was used for. Yeah. But now it's genuinely used to have a job.
No,
you can make a living.
Yeah, no, it's true, right? And it's one of those things that I think about, like, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like once again, my dad's generation, I feel like it was really like a lot of like working hard, right? And it's not to say that the generations under like my dad's generation, like that we don't work hard, because I think we definitely do. But I think what that looks like is just different now. Because here's the thing, and we talk about this a lot here. I'm learning, y'all. I'm trying to learn this whole social media thing and all that. But like, if you were to ask me, Asia, edit this and look at this, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that would, for me, that would be a chore to do. It is a chore for me to do. But I feel like I'm seeing some of the younger folks, and like they can do it so easily. Like, and there are millennials too that are also making a career through social media, and through a lot of them are having a lot of side hustles, right? I think the idea of a side hustle has changed. And now it is not just like having a second job, right, where you're working for somebody else, but it's you have your business on the side, you know, like whatever you do on the side, which some people are now making it into their full-time thing, right? So just seeing like the generational I guess work ethic / just like how we're making money. What does a career even look like these days? And I think people are, especially one thing I will say about Gen Z is they're finding their own lane.
Yeah,
they really, really are. Shout out to all the Gen Zers. But I don't know.
I mean, it's working for them. It's also working for us and everybody else prior to, because we got to get with the times anyway. So it doesn't matter, but it's beneficial to everybody. I feel like it's good and bad. I will say that it has created a sense of laziness.
Yeah.
They're a lot more lazy than we are, which can it can hinder your future endeavors, you know, with real life stuff. You got to be able to kind of do things in your life, you know what I mean? And when I say that, I mean like cooking, just something as small as cooking, or we all call mama for how you do all this, what's the prescription, what's the name of the prescription, because you know, whatever. But now I feel like they won't necessarily know how to do any of that stuff, because it's not practiced enough, because everything comes so lightly. Everything is Googled. Yeah. You know, even our when my grandfather was alive, he passed away recently, and he was telling us like, I never used no GPS. Right. Well, what did you use? Like a compass? I'm so confused. And he was like, yeah, like north, south, east, and west. Where you live? On the east side? Okay. What's the address? Let me look at the numbers and count down. Yeah. I feel like I would go crazy without a GPS. Yeah. Like my Waze app is consistently open. Right. So I said all of that to say that the generation in general has it easy. Yeah, has it handed to them. It's a new day and age. You know, a lot of things are coming. A lot of things that were already here, the voices are being amplified now. Let me say that, of different things that we've gone through in life. Whether y'all already know, we're not gonna even get into that, but all that ties back into the work ethic and what we learn at work, and and the educational system. Yeah. What we learn in our educational system carries on to our work. And right now it's chilling. You can everything is handed to you, and everything is electronic.
And that's actually what I was thinking about, like and that's why, and I ride for my millennials, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, for a lot of us, like we were the generation where a lot of things were introduced, right? So we still remember like landlines, for instance, or payphones out in the middle of the street. Like I still remember those things, but I also remember having a smartphone. But I also remember when the smartphones started, you know, like my first phone was not a smartphone. We didn't have them growing up, you know? But looking at like the generation now, that's all they know, you know, like dial-up internet. They will never know that, right? But we grew up with that. It's like, even in my dad's generation, that wasn't even a thing. Think about Google. That's all the younger generation knows. Yep. Google wasn't even around. You know, like it had just started for us, for our generation. So just seeing how like it really just seeing how the world has changed in general
and evolved
and it really has evolved, and seeing how the generations reflect that evolution, right? Because thinking about it, like, it wasn't Gen Zers that was creating all this technology. No, it was the older generation to make things easier, right? And it's interesting because there was this post, and this man, he was just talking about, actually, in his family, just the generations and stuff like that, and he was saying that his grandfather was a poor man, right? And he said, but because of that, then he made sure that his son had more than he had, right? So life was a little bit easier, right? They still didn't have a lot, but it was still something. And then that man, you know, for him, let's say, was going to college or whatever. So his son, that's all his son knew, right? So for his son, it was mad easy, like super easy. He didn't really have to work for anything. And the man said, and I know that at some point, either my son or my son's son will be a poor man again, because he never had to work for anything. And for me, I started to think about that cycle, right? Of like, dang, at some point, like and it is true, like, I'm first generation out the hood. My kids are not going to have to live in the hood because I'm first generation out. But my dad, that's where he grew up. My grandfather, sharecropper, right? So like, even thinking about that, and thinking about like my grandfather, 6th grade education, my father, some of college, me, graduate student, my kids, college is an expectation, right? But thinking about, oh my gosh, are they going to feel like they have to work for anything? Right. It's up to the parents, right? And how they're being raised. But just thinking about that cycle, it's like, oh, we still have to give the younger generation something to work for. Because if not,
it's getting lost in translation. It really is getting lost in translation. But like I said, it could be a good thing. But I mean, I totally agree with you. It's one of those things where we were taught responsibilities. Like, that's what we were given, you know. But now I just feel like it's handed down to, it's almost a sense of entitlement that comes along with this generation, which can harm. It can harm. To the parents out there that's raising up the next generation, got to be careful with that. If you are a millennial parent, you're all right. But if you're a Gen Z parent, you know, you're teaching them based on what you know and based on what was handed to you. So it's going to continue. You know, it's one of those things where it's going to continue. It's going to evolve into something. One thing, this is not work related for Gen Z, but one thing, us millennials, what is it called? Baby boomers, whatever generation was before us and before that and before that and before that, we are not adapting to these hand movement TikToks, and we're not doing that. We're not doing that at family reunions. We're not doing that at parties.
That's a fact.
We're doing the electric slide.
Yes.
We are doing the Cupid shuffle. We are doing the wobble.
Yes.
My parents still try and do the bump and the Humpty Hump or whatever. That's dancing. This new left, bring it around, whip it twice. No. We're not doing none of that.
If you don't know to let me see your 1-2 step, I want to see your 1-2 step. Don't talk to me.
It looks stupid.
If you don't know how to do something to knuck of your butt, don't talk to me.
Thank you. It stopped at the crank that, Soulja Boy. Listen, you had a pass, but you was right there, bro. And I just feel like that's another generational thing where we're looking at them like, that's what y'all call dance. Every song has a dance to it. Yeah. And we can blame TikTok for that. But it just ties into everything. Everything Gen Z. You know, like, y'all just, it's a whole nother ball game. It's either we get with it or get lost. I'm gonna have to sit the dancing out. Yeah. I'm gonna sit it out. But
it's true. Last thing on that, right? So something that I thought about was the fact that okay, think about when we were in high school, right? And then we had to do the whole like it would be like Spirit Week, and we had like old school day or whatever the case may be, like throwback day, and most people did like the 70s, right? And had like afros or whatever the case may be. Do y'all know that right now, as we speak, 2021, they're having like 90s, early 2000s as a throwback day?
Wearing tall tees?
When I tell you, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's crazy.
Wait a minute.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually in shock because I was like, wow, they really think that was like back in the day. But then think about it. That was back in the day.
We're old.
We're in the 2020s.
We're getting up there.
We're in the 2020s. Yeah, that's wild to me. That's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Time is flying.
It is.
Time is really flying. I think, yeah, that's crazy to think about. Wow, like the Jabot shorts and the tall tees and the like sweatband around your head.
Baby fat.
Baby fat. The gel down bang. The chonga look. If that was your thing with the hoop.
Yep.
It's just, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's where we're at right now. Such is life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no hate to the Gen Zers.
We love y'all.
Yeah, we love y'all.
We wouldn't be here without y'all.
Yeah, our kids are gonna be y'all. Are y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I don't know.
Oh.
Nah, that's the next generation.
No, I think they're.
Who knows?
Who even knows how this stuff works, right? Either way, this has been another episode of Small Talk. You already know. 2 queens, 2 perspectives, 1 topic. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.